Hi, friends. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a great day today. I've got two really cool books to share with you today. Okay, this first one is called The Rattle Bang Picnic. Let's find out what happens. Ooh, look at the opening picture. When Jack McTavish married sweet Marion McGillicuddy, she counted the money and talked things over seriously. We can afford either a wonderful, speedy car that never breaks down, or we can have lots of children, said Jack McTavish. What a pity we can't have both. Perhaps we can have a few children, just 6 or 7, if we make do with an old car, suggested the new Miss McTavish. That's a great idea, cried Mr. McTavish, looking pleased. We'll have 7 children and get by with an old rattlebang. So the McTavishes had 7 children, and they drove an old rattlebang. That's their car right there. You have done the right thing, said Jack McTavish's mother, Granny McTavish. She liked having grandchildren. We can all go on picnics in the Rattlebang, and I will make pancakes and pizzas for us to eat. And it says right here, for the Shark Park. You see them all getting out of the car? Now, Granny McTavish was a good grandmother, but she was not a very good cook. Her pies and pizzas were tougher than old boots. The trouble was she always baked everything for an hour or two at a very low temperature, and it toughened things up. You could use her pies, pizzas, and pancakes as frisbees or bowl with them along the beach, but you just couldn't bite into them, even if your teeth were very strong. One day, Marion McTavish, who was famous for being adventurous, said, well, we've often been on picnics to the beach or to the river. For our next picnic, let's drive to the very tip top of Mount Fog. Yes, 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 called the 7 McTavish children and Granny McTavish in one voice, for they were all adventurous as well. However, Jack McTavish looked grave. I'm not too sure that this is a good idea, he said. The road is winding and rocky, and we only have the old rattlebang to get us there. Pieces keep dropping off of it. I'm sure it will be just fine, cried Marion McTavish. We're longing to climb the mountain and swim in the hot springs. All right, we'll risk it, Jack McTavish decided. So on the next picnic day, Mr. McTavish, Mrs. McTavish, the 7 little McTavishes, and Granny McTavish piled into the old rattlebang and set off for Mount Fog. It was a beautiful morning. A plume of pure white cloud floated around the top of the mountain. The old rattlebang struggled up the winding rocky road, bumping and banging and backfiring, and then stopped right beside the hot spring. Everyone plunged into the warm water and swam happily up and down. Later, they dried themselves by jumping over the hot air geysers that blew between the rocks. This is perfect, said Mr. McTavish, setting out the lunch. I can't think why more people don't picnic here. The only disappointment was the pizza Granny McTavish had insisted on making. It was so hard that it bent the picnic knife. Even banging it with sharp knives failed to chip any pieces free. After an hour of hard work, the little McTavishes had only managed to grind a hole in the middle of it. Apart from that, the pizza was quite unyielding. Well, it probably won't be good for us anyway, said Miss McTavish. We shall make do with cupcakes and apples. So after a delicious cupcake and apple lunch, they stretched out in the sun to rest before setting out for the top of Mount Fog. As they dozed, they were surprised to feel the mountain jiggling and rumbling beneath them as it too was digesting an agreeable meal. Suddenly, there was a great volcanic roar. The ground shook violently. The white clouds surrounding the peak turned gray and then black, and red hot lava poured down the mountainside. Quick, everyone in the car, cried Mr. McTavish. So they all piled into the old Rattlebang and set off down the rocky, winding road, bumping and banging and backfiring, while the red-hot lava burbled furiously after them. This car is going very well for an old Rattlebang, said Granny McTavish. But just as she spoke, the car gave a sickening lurch. A wheel had fallen off the Rattlebang. It went bowling swiftly down the rocky road ahead of them, struck a stone, and leaped out into limitless space. Down, down, down it fell, becoming smaller and smaller until it vanished completely. Behind them, the 10 McTavishes could hear the sinister hiss of the red-hot lava flowing towards them. No screaming now. Everyone think quickly, Mr. McTavish said. Granny's pizza, his 7 children cried together. Put Granny's pizza on the old Rattlebang. Hastily, Mr. and Miss McTavish jacked up the old Rattlebang, trying not to notice the red-hot lava creeping closer and closer. Then Mr. McTavish banged the pizza onto the axle using an iron mallet, which they always carried in case of emergencies, while Miss McTavish rubbed the axle with what was left of the picnic butter so that the pizza would spin around smoothly. By now, the red-hot lava was very, very close. All right, said Miss Jack McTavish briskly, let's give it a whirl. Everyone piled back into the old Rattlebang as the red-hot lava rose behind them like a tidal wave. The engine coughed and sputtered and then burst to life. Off they went, bumping and banging and backfiring down the winding rocky road, leaving the volcano and red-hot lava far behind them. The old Rattlebang may have looked a little strange with a pizza in place of a wheel, but none of the McTavishes cared about that. How wise we were to have 7 children instead of a speedy new car, exclaimed Mr. and Miss McTavish, smiling at each other. And how wise I was to cook that pizza for an hour and a half at a low temperature, thought Granny McTavish. What a wonderful picnic, the 7 McTavish children murmured to one another. Perhaps for our next picnic day, we can all pile into the old Rattlebang and go to Tornado Valley. That would be fun too. And they banged and bumped and backfired all the way home in perfect safety. That was a great book, and it was called The Rattlebang Picnic. How fun. Okay, I've got one more book to share with you all today. This one is really a favorite of mine. It's called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Let's look at it. Ooh, look at the opening cover. The Very Hungry Caterpillar. In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop, out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one apple, but he was still hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through two pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through three plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through four strawberries, but he was still hungry. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's find out what he ate next. And on Friday, he ate through five oranges, but he was still hungry. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's. On Saturday, he ate through one piece of chocolate cake, one ice cream cone, one pickle, one slice of Swiss cheese, and one slice of salami, one lollipop, one piece of cherry pie, one sausage, one cake, and one slice of watermelon. That night, he had a stomach ache. We can see everything he ate right there. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through one nice green leaf, and after that he felt much better. Now he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself, and he stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, and he pushed his way out, and let's find out what happens. And he was a beautiful butterfly. The end. That was a fun book, and the pictures were great. That was called The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Okay, I hope you all have a great rest of the day today, and I'll see you tomorrow.